couple of weeks off and I'm totally out of there were things I should have checked yesterday and I did not check. So we're bare bonesing it today just to make sure that everything is good. I've got something in my hair, which I don't like there. Let's get rid of that. Nope, it's still there. That's fine. It can stay. Welcome, everybody. I saw the chat going really busy this morning. The first comment that I can see, I'm just double checking, is from Vampire. Good morning, Vampire. So good to see you in the chat, as well as Ruth and Kathy and Freaky. And there's a big combo going on between you guys, and then John jumps in and Sally's here. Hi Sally, welcome to the chat, and thank you for putting the post in the fun zone this morning. I saw that. I really appreciate that, so thank you. I'm assuming you guys can all hear me, and you can all Sally's just put it here, can see and hear me, so thank you Sally, you're a champion. I have a little headache right now. I've taken some Panadol, so hopefully I only just took the Panadol. Should have probably taken it a little while ago. But it's been chaos here this morning because you guys know Abby has her license and we've got a car that she's test driving. She's actually out right now in it for her that she's saved up to buy for herself. So fingers crossed. And then this afternoon, now the reason I'm telling you all this is because I may have to end the stream a few minutes early. We have RACQ, which is one of our statewide automotive bodies. They're going to come out and do an inspection on the car, a pre-purchase inspection. It's kind of to help us decide if we're buying a lemon or not. So they can go through and do that and give us a safety certificate. So, you know, we got the whole... we'll be there sometime between 12 and 5. So I'm like, great. So you'll be here either at 11:30 or, 4:45. So that's cool. We've got some people chucking in their ad skippers. Liz B, member for 13 months. John O'Brien, member for 14 months. Ruth Young, member for 14 months. So thank you all for being channel members. I very much appreciate you guys. It's one of these things where I don't even know how to portray my gratitude, knowing that you guys are actually financially supporting, especially now that I'm shutting down the Fiberific website. It means so much. So my goal is to not disappoint you. So fingers crossed. Sal's member for 14 months. Chintamani member for 14 months. Vampire is a member of Coffee Clutch for 14 months. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I agree, Freaky. Going to a grocery store for a lemon and not a car dealer. Absolutely. Now we're actually not using a car dealer. We're doing a private sale here. So we will, so that's even scarier in my book. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So it's been ages since we've caught up. So I need to know all of the goss. What are you working on? Did you get all your Christmas projects finished in time? Did you start a new one? I started a new one. I have it here. Now I can't work on it during the stream, but I've got some ends to weave in. So, I'm going to do that. I'm not giving away any information there. So I've nearly finished part 1. So I'm just going to go here. So I just basically need to finish this row and then add one more row of this color, and I've finished part 1. Now it is a single bed width. I have added no extra repeats. I have done exactly what the pattern suggested. This will not be Queen 2.0 where I add everything and use thicker yarn and take 2 years to finish it. My goal is to work with the cowl. So 8 weeks is this one. So we get our second part here in Australia. It'll be tomorrow night. So I will see. John's off the market. Wait, that's awesome news, John. Congratulations. Leanne says, good morning, Chantelle and live typers. I like that. Live typers. No Christmas projects for John. Still working on my corner to corner the throw. And and Facebook official. Oh, that's congratulations. That's awesome. That's very awesome. I love that. Lisby says, I'm teaching myself cable knitting on socks. That is also awesome. That's a cool way to do it. That is actually a cool way to do it. Good morning, Christina. Oops, welcome. And Chantamini, hi. Good to see you in the chat. So I was about to say I'm going to go down to the other camera, but it's right here already. I got to find some chibis and some scissors. I have my Gamer Widows pouch that I'm in love with. So this is one of her humbug pouches. So if someone can grab my link to Gamer Widows, that would be great. I don't even know if she's got any humbugs on her site at the moment, but I love these humbug pouches. I'm just having a look. I've actually got quite a few within hand's reach today. So I've got the sloth one, the little slothies, and then I've got this beautiful garden sort of themed one. There's a little well with gnomes and cats, and it's very, very nice. And it's got that one's got some purple spotties on the inside. It's got to love that as well. And then I also have this Caravan Flamingos one, which I haven't used. This is how they get posted out, so they can come in nice flat post, which is great. I popped on some little extra stitch markers onto the zip pulls just because I wanted to. But yeah, this is the little flamingo caravans. I love that one. And then this is the one I got as my gift at the Fiberific retreat, which was little teapots and cupcakes. So it too has extra little stitch markers, and this was an extra little gift in the retreat bag. So I poked that on there. It's like, this one's like a little reminder of retreat. So this was like one of the retreat stitch markers, the retreat badge with a retreat pouch. So in our little gift bags that I do up for the retreats, we have lots of little cool things that some amazing local makers get involved in. Dolores is also weaving in ends on her spring frost blanket. That is awesome. Dolores, sorry, before I jump over to you, Kathy, how are you enjoying it? Because I know, I went a bit blurry there. Have I gone too blurry? There we go. So how are you enjoying it? Because I know that like me showing the colors kind of made you buy the kit, which, do I feel bad about that? No, not at all, because I'm loving it. I've definitely noticed, you guys remember how I was talking about how I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of SD, like this Stylecraft special DK. And I've realized some colors I like and some colors I don't like. So I'm noticing as I'm working through some of the colors and I'm like, oh, that one doesn't feel as good. So are you finding the same thing? So let me know. So Kathy, no Christmas gifts, 2 more sides to go, my queen, and then I'm done and dusted. Oh my God, Kathy, you are a machine, an absolute machine. That is insane. Sal's popped the link in here. So if you want to grab your own little humbug or project bag, my project bags are out of the couch with projects shoved in them. So I can't even show you the cool. Do I even have one hand here? No. Nope. They're all out of the couch. I thought I had one that was empty. I just emptied it and put it back in here. Just bear with. Ha ha ha. I knew I did. I was convinced. I'd done some tidying and I was convinced. So this is one of her, I'm not sure what size this one is. My ruler is gone, but I have a tape measure. So it is, it's a square base. I'm just going to drop this out of the way. It's a square base, and it is the ones that are approximately 18 centimeters wide. And you guys know me, like, look at all this amazing Iron Man, like Captain America, like everything. This fabric's me, okay? I love this fabric so much. And it's like the old school comics, which I love. So, and then on the inside, it's all DC. It's all like kapows, and there's Oh no, that's Wolverine down the bottom. That's not DC. Oh my gosh, it's not. It's more Marvel. There's Wolverine in the bottom. And then lovely handles that are really easy to just cinch. And you don't feel like it's going to give. You know, sometimes when you pull on handles, you think that maybe you're just going to, one day you're going to pull on them and they're just going to rip apart. But also there's like little pockets in here, like for you to pop your scissors and things into on both sides. This one's got a bigger pocket. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Cute fabrics, well made. This one obviously needs a new project. Plop, over there. Okay. Kathy Bryan, member for 14 months. John O'Brien has upgraded his membership to Artisan. John, you actually came up here in the StreamYard software as a new member, but we know you're not. We know you've upgraded from ad skippers to art. Oh, was it from Artisan? That's a big jump. Thank you. Was it Coffee Clutch to Artisan or ad skippers? I don't even know. I don't even know. Let me look here. No, you were ad skippers and you've jumped up to Artisan. So thank you for that. I very much appreciate that. I'm just going back here. I saw something. Molly, I tried that waistcoat stitch that we talked about last stream. Not sure if I'll ever do that again. It looked very nice, but it was very annoying to do. Well, I believe you. So yes, I can imagine. But yes, Leanne says, cool notions pouch, such a necessity for all of the things. I gifted my daughter one. She has it in her handbag as a first aid kit on the go. Because they're deceptive. Like how much, I was about to say how much crap you can put in there. But, you know, how many things, how much stuff you can fit in. It's really surprising. I'm always really surprised. I'm like, I'll try and poke that in there. And then it fits. And I'm like, okay. Dolores said, yep, definitely no regrets. Yep, some colors feel different to others. Now, in saying this, I am aware that some of the colors, like I think this blue and this blue, oh, you can't see the second one because of the thing. These two colors here are not special, are not the Stylecraft Special DK. They're a different Stylecraft yarn. Like one, I think they're baby yarns or something. Anyway, they feel differently. They actually feel great. I wish there were more colors than those. But I even just mean amongst just the straight up Stylecraft colors. I was actually really shocked because I remember being very passionately not into Stylecraft because of a yarn that I'd tried. I tried one color and I was like, yeah, I don't like that. And then I was at Caffeinated Crafters and somebody had theirs and I was like, this feels different. So maybe it's one of these things where the different colors feel different. So I can deal with it for this sort of thing where it's like, you know, a couple of rows. But yeah, Sue Singleton, Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you. And welcome to the chat. Emma's project, Sue says, Emma's project bags are the very best. I have a granny square fabric one and I just love it. So yeah, it is. It's definitely that I love them. I think they're really well made. They are like the project bags are clever. They're thought out by somebody who crafts. And, you know, we need the little pockets. We need the little pouches. We need to be able to make sure it cinches closed properly and fast and easily and comes back open again fast. And the project bags are freestanding. And there's all these things that I just like love about them. And it's because Emma's a crafter. Emma's here. Here she is. Emma's a crafter. And she knows what we need. She's not a bag maker who's guessing what we need. She's also a yarn crafter. So she thinks about what we need, what we'll use, and then makes it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Sally, that is an awesome win. A new year, I had 2 sales in my Etsy shop, so I was crocheting up more reusable face wipes to stuck up in the shop just in case. Yes, that is awesome. I love that. Congratulations. Yeah, I think like, like while it'd be nice like to have like a mad rush, I think like the slow ramp up in sales is good so you can slowly build up production speeds as well. I think that's awesome too. So 2 this month and 5 next month. That's what, and then 10 the month after, and then 20 the month after that. And then double until you start having a waiting list. So yeah, no, Emma does beautiful work, and she picks great fabrics. That's the other thing. I love the fabrics that she chooses. So yeah. In my cup today, this one so far is just honey and water, but it's already getting cold, so I'm topping it up with my tea. What have you guys got in your cups? So it's like, what time are we at now? Where's the time? It's about 10:15 here now. And tea's a good thing to have at that time of the morning, I think. So yeah, let me just see if this is too hot. That's a little warm. It's a little warm. We'll leave that for later. Sally says nothing. Air. Ruth says iced tea. That's not a cup. It's a small bowl with a handle. That's a cup. What are you talking about, freaky? It's legit a cup. Coffee for Sue. Leanne says coffee, but I have water too. I also have water. There's water there as well. Vampy says water. I get my next cup with lunch. I hope that Artog is looking after you. Game Widow's just finished a Jaffa tea. I was actually because I've been doing a lot of sorting and clearing out and stuff around the house this last few weeks, I realized I had some really old teas in my tea cabinet. So I've had to, purge some. So I have some space for some more tea. So I'll have to, get some more. Oh, in saying that, I did just buy a new bag of the licorice legs, and I have turned a friend of mine onto it. So I don't know if you liked it or not. I should ask. I should ask if he's even tried it yet. I mean, there's always that possibility that it's like, yeah, I bought it. I haven't touched it yet, though. Oh, that sounds like Abby might be home from her adventures in the car. So we're very lucky with this new car that we're trialing out for Abby, is that it's a friend's car. So she's actually letting us borrow it for a week or a few days to get all the stuff done that we want to, like all the inspections and things, so that we don't have to do it like fast and 5 seconds and that sort of stuff. So that's been amazing as well. So I drove it because she's about an hour and a half away from us. So I drove it home yesterday, and it was a very nice drive. I didn't notice anything kinky with it, but then again, not exactly known for my knowledge of vehicles. So we will see how it goes. Oops, I want to go up that one. I know, it's like some people watch me weave in ends and they cringe because I go all over the place. I'm like a higgledy-piggledy ends weaver innerer. I just like to have a lot of tail woven in so that if it pokes back out again, I've got something to use to weave it back in again later. And also I get, a warning that the tail's coming out, and that, I can weave it back in before something dramatic happens. Where are we? So, Sally's popped a link into the fun zone. So if you want to share photos of any of your projects that you've been working on so we can all cheer and be excited, please do that over there. Add it under the link for today's live stream so that it's all kept together. So we know that, that we were talking about this during the live stream. So it's linked in with the live stream that we were actually, on. I know it sounds like an unusual request, but it just helps things to keep things a little more organized over in the fun zone. Not that we try that hard for organization over there, but sometimes we are. So yeah. Oh my gosh. So did everybody have an enjoyable, I'm assuming most people had a break of some description. Let me know in the chat if you got to have a break. I loved having a break. And I ended up doing the full, like, no work whatsoever break, which excuse me, I don't usually do. I normally do like a slowdown. I don't normally do a complete stop. Now I can see the advantages to both. I found it very hard to ramp back up after a complete stop. But you know, I'm kind of back. I wouldn't say I'm at full, full speed or anything like that, but I'm back. I'm shipping orders and answering emails and all that sort of stuff. There's a bit of a backlog of emails actually, which I'm going through slowly. I don't want to miss anything, but I'm getting there. Kimberly Walbach, welcome to the chat. Good to see you in here. My middle child bought his first car last week, already broken down and needs a trip to the mechanic. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's terrible. Oh. Did you guys get like a pre-purchase inspection or anything like that? I'm not trying to bag anything. I'm just wondering how good these pre-purchase inspections are. If you got one, then it breaks down a week later, I'll be a bit like, what? Because they're not cheap, these pre-purchase inspections. I mean, they come to you, which is really nice, but yeah. Gabby Rodriguez, welcome to the chat. I did something now that I want to share with you all. I popped in one on Saturday night. I don't know whose channel it was. I just noticed that they were a crafting channel and they were live while I was on my break. And I thought, I'll pop in, I'll say hi. And this channel was such a disappointment. Production quality was amazing. But new people would say, hi, I'm new. And they would not say hello. They would only interact with people who they'd interacted with previously. And I don't know if that was a rule of the channel. I don't know, because I'd never been there before. I'd never heard of the channel before. And to the point where I actually don't even remember the name of the channel. But I can tell you right now that if I saw it come up again, I wouldn't jump into one of their live streams. They had, it was an active chat. It was not too active though. You guys are more active. And they just didn't, because there was two people, but I think it was regularly two people. And if they didn't talk to anyone at all, I would understand, because, you know, maybe it was a conversation or maybe it was a recording of a podcast or something, you know, and sometimes sometimes you do that. I know that on my other live streaming channel, I don't interact with the chat the same way as I do here. And it's a decision that I made because it's, you know, I want to focus on my guest. But this looks like a regular live stream where the both of them were always there, sort of thing, like it was a two-person like channel. But they interacted quite often with the same few people in the chat. And I was just like, wow, that is not a way to build a community. I was actually really quite disappointed for the other, like I was new and I was like, you know, but and I thought, well, maybe, you know, maybe they didn't see it or whatever. And so I just sort of left it at that and was just watching the chat while I was crafting. And then I realized other people would say, hey, I'm new. This is the first time I've seen, you know, your live, blah, 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 blah. And they were all ignored. And it was only this handful of people that they responded to. I was just like, what? That's just, I don't know. It did not feel inclusive. And I don't know what the goal of their channel is. Well, actually, I do, because they were talking about how many views they had. Their goal is to get views and to build their channels. But they were not interacting with their chat, like with their new potential subscribers. Like I didn't subscribe because I was like, I'm not going to subscribe to somebody who doesn't know how to, you know, interact with their chat. They'll need to do more to convince me to subscribe than saying, please subscribe so we can keep making these. Nope. Sue says it's nice to feel included with a greeting. I think so too. And look, you know what? There are some channels where the chat's moving so fast. I get it. You cannot see every comment. And it's just one of those things where you're just like, okay, was it just, because it was moving too quickly? And I was sort of looking at it, I'm like, nah, this chat is slow. This is like all the comments were just like, I couldn't even tell you what their chat rate speed was. It was very slow. Like, you guys chat way more. Like, it's ticking over. I can see this moving. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was disappointing. Dolores says that I love how welcoming this live and the fun zone are. Thank you, everyone and that's the thing. It's not me who does that. It's everybody who does that. Everybody making everybody feel welcome. I think we've got an amazing community here. I feel very special. Freaky says, I agree. Mods and hosts of the live should be welcoming. If they have time to respond to other chatters, they should. Yes. If they have time to respond to the others, then they have time to respond to the new folks. I 100% agree with you. Yeah. John says that it could be that they were on Top Chat. They were in StreamYard. And how do I know this? Because they had the free version of StreamYard with the StreamYard logos all over it. So they had the exact same level of chat that I get with you guys. So that was the other thing. I was like, I know what they can see. And, even if they don't have YouTube open, which I think is, I don't know if that's the best idea, running a stream without YouTube open, but if your computer can't do both, then, you've got to choose. Well, I would actually have it open on a device if my computer couldn't do both. I need to see what YouTube sees. Maybe I'm just a control freak. I mean, maybe, definitely like to have control over this sort of stuff. Just having a Sue agrees with Dolores. It's why I keep coming back. Well, I am glad to hear that. Francis, I agree with you. I love how inclusive this group is. Me too. Definitely. Oh, yes. And if you are watching the live right now, make sure that where you can see at the top of the chat, if it says top chat, click the little down arrow thing and change it to live chat. YouTube thinks they know what order we want to see the comments in, but the reality is that's a trash order and you miss things. So, I'm really hoping that's Abby who's back, because I've let she's yelled at FBI. Now, guys, I'm just going to mute for just a second, and just check on something. I'm muting. Abby went shopping and has bought herself a little Solar Dash hula girl for her car.
They had a Solar Dash hula poop, but I don't want
that. I agree. I wouldn't want that. Now I'm going to mute again, everybody. Okay, I had to double check. Abby just came back from her very first trip in the car, and she was a little bit nervous, which is understandable. We're all a bit nervous jumping into a different car, but she did very well, and she bought accessories. So she's like, it's my car. So fingers crossed it passes all these tests and everything, right? Because how disappointing will she be? How disappointed will she be? Let's use proper English. Now back to the chat. Freaky said that it's sad some lives are just that, a boost for each other and to drive the numbers up for monetization. Yeah. And look, okay, so YouTube hat on. I get it. I understand that when you're trying to do that. Now, both these channels were already monetized. They said that during their live. But yeah, I definitely get it that it is a boost. But if you're not building a community, why bother going live? Honestly. That's my thing. Kelly says, in a live, it annoys me a bit when they greeted first timers, but if you make comments and they do not talk to you, it annoys me a bit when they greeted first timers. But if you make comments and they not talk to you, then I'm confused. I don't understand. My brain has not caffeinated enough for this one, Kelly. I'm sorry. Hi, Lydia. How are you going? It's good to see you here. Ruth, I agree. It's not good manners. It's not good manners. Christina says, I'm not here often and I don't really interact, but I appreciate the interaction when I do say something. I'm usually doing house and baby things, and I really like the vibe here. That is awesome. I'm glad we're building a great vibe here for everybody. So Dolores wrote nice things, which feels gratuitous. I'm going to put it up. I think you set the tone for the group, and this then attracts like-minded people. And I actually agree with that, in as well as generally, like, you know, if you're a grumbly, groany person, then you attract grumbly, groany persons. And if you're a happy person, you tend to attract happy persons. It's not a set in stone rule, but we attract yarn crafters who like to chat about all the things, not just yarn. Gabby loves this group as well. Sal loves this group. I'm really hoping, Sal, you like the group here, right? And Sal says hi to all the lurkers. We appreciate you all being here. Absolutely, we do. And we totally understand that sometimes you just can't chat. And I'll watch live streams where I'll be like, it's like the middle of the night. I've woken up for whatever reason, and I'm on my phone with headphones on, listening, but I'm not going to be typing and you know, making the bed judder from the typey type fingers. So yeah, I just utilize. I mean, I've kind of used them to fall back to sleep, truth be told, but sometimes there are times when you can't chat. Like I don't mind listening to live streams while I'm driving the car. I can't watch the live streams, but I'll listen to them, but definitely can't interact then. Oh, got a dry spot. And I agree with Ruth. Baby comes first. Absolutely. I have my saying of life before YouTube. And I say that to other creators that I work with and other people around the place. Life before YouTube. And that's the same for viewers. Like if you're doing something and you can't be there or you can't chat, that's 100% okay, because it's life before YouTube every time. So that's a controversial topic in the YouTuber world. Some people feel that they have to put YouTube above everything else, otherwise then they're not going to succeed. And I suppose it depends on what your definition of success is. So yeah, here at Fiberific, we are so close to hitting 6,000 subscribers. My ultimate goal for this channel was 10,000. Like, that's my dream. You know, some like 1 million, 10 million, mine is 10,000, and we are creeping ever closer, and we're about to hit the 6,000. So I'm very excited about that. Knitspin Girl says hi to Abby. And Leanne says that is so a needed great purchase. Loves your little hula girl. Knitspin Girl wants to know where the fluffy dice are. Now, this is a conversation, okay, Knitspin Girls. And even the hula girl, I'm going to be like, can we put it on the back dash somewhere? I don't like distractions for the visual area while you're driving. You know, she's a kid, and even when I'm there, even when I'm driving, I'm like, shiny things. So I'm like, no, I don't want anything hanging off her rear vision mirror. So no fluffy dice. I already got her to remove something she put up there yesterday. I'm like, for a start, not your car yet. Secondly, no. The stinky thing hanger. She's just gone, they're still out there. Let me just scroll through. I'm a bit behind in the chat. Oh, someone's Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. We have. Sorry, Kelly. Thank you for restating it for my morning brain. I don't think greeting is necessary, but it's nice when the host interacts with the chat, everyone in the chat, not just. And I agree with that. If you're having a chat where you're not interacting with the chat, don't interact with the chat at all. Or very infrequently. But if you are interacting with the chat, you need to interact with everybody, or as many as you possibly can. And so especially new people and people with like poignant comments, they don't feel like they're typing into the wind. So yeah. The vibe is the key. It could also be they're just talking to their members. Well, I didn't notice any green people. But they might have a private group, like a Facebook membership or something that I couldn't see. I mean, that's a possibility. So they might have like an external Facebook group or Discord group or something like that where they recognize the names. You're right. That could totally be it. Why did I go up? It's the wrong color. I'd like to go back down, please. Back down, please. And keep it hidden. As much as possible. There we go. I wasn't concentrating. It ended up with this mushroom color up in the white. Hopefully it's not visible. It's had lots of weaving in. Christina says, I don't know how to reply directly to Freaky. Oh, okay. So if you to reply directly to someone, you can only do it if you're on a laptop or a computer. It doesn't work on mobile yet. But if you type the @ sign and start typing their name, it'll auto populate and you can choose the person. So yep. Where are we? Oh yeah. Freaky says that there are now lives that you can't watch, but yeah. So that absolutely, there are definitely there's when you set up a live, you have lots of options. You can make it subscribers only, and you can make it members only, or you can have it open. You can slow the chat down so that people can only comment once every every 300 seconds, so 5 minutes. Things like that, just to, especially that's particularly useful if you've got a very fast moving chat. You can slow it down, but I actually don't see it as a bad thing. So if you are trying to do something special or a bonus for members, making it a members only chat, other people can watch it, but only the members can chat. I actually work with one creator and we make her chat subscriber only. And the reason we do that is so that there's less spam. There's actually a lot less spam. So because you have to be a subscriber for 1 minute before you can comment. I think these things are fine as long as people are aware and know what they can do to join in if they want to. So Kathy is lurking and counting. So yeah. Oh, I'm not going to say any numbers while Kathy's doing that. Emma Langdon is in the chat. She's just lurking while she finishes a pullover test knit. That sounds amazing. If you're allowed to share photos, I know you're not always allowed to share photos, but I'd love to see that over in the fun zone. But I know sometimes with test knits, you're just not allowed to, and I understand that as well. Yeah, the stinky thing hanger. Like those car deodorizer things. Abby's bought a couple of different ones. Are they jelly beans?
What?
You stink.
Jelly bean ones. That's in your cup, but I have the chocolate one.
Okay. I don't know if you guys could hear her yelling from the other room. Abby she's the one that she's poked into my car is a Jelly Belly jelly bean, and it's a jelly bean. And I've actually just got that in my center console with the lid closed. It's very strong. Oh, isn't it? Abby says it's not strong anymore. I'm like, I still open the center console and go, oh. But in her car, she has got a Chupa Chups brand one. So, yeah. Sal's just going to refresh because she says that the audio is out of sync. Let me know if that works. I can't tell from here right now. So we'll see. No. Our Knitspin Girl says no distractions. I think technically the dangly things from your rearview mirror are actually illegal. Yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are here in Queensland. I think they are definitely illegal in New South Wales.
Can I show them?
No, there you go. So they're the dangly things that she's got
That
under
one's
her rear
peaches
vision mirror.
and cream, and the other one's rose.
So you're mixing the stinks as well.
Yeah, but it smells really nice.
Okay. Oh, so Kelly, who is in Queensland, actually says that she thinks it's also illegal to hang things from the rear view mirror. I'll definitely check that out, Abby. I don't want you getting pulled over for it. Chintamani has said that fluffy dice, air fresheners hanging from the rearview mirror, and even stickers on the back of the car, depending on where they are, can earn a penalty everywhere in the country. Ah, there you go. Oh, Christina said that she was trying to do it on mobile. Yeah, it's actually a discussion that we have like over in the YouTube educators sort of area about how annoying that is. Like, why can't we tag people on mobile? Seriously. Car air freshness. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The stinky things. Sound and vision is fine for Chintamani. Oh, that's good. Yeah. She's put a little squishmallow up on the dash. I don't think it can stay, but yeah, I'm not surprised it fell. It now lives in a cup holder. Apparently, it fell off while she was driving. Okay, we're halfway done with these, so that's cool. The downside is I don't have my iPad handy with the pattern to jump over to the cowl that I haven't worked on since the last time we were all together. So yeah, I'll have to duck off and get that when we get up to it. Weaving in the ends. Do you guys have a specific way you weave in the ends? I just go like that way, then this way, then this way, then that way. I mean, I make it so there's so many corners that for it to totally come undone, it had to have basically go through a washing machine and then spin cycle and then get thrown around in a cyclone. Oh, Sal said that you may have missed my comment. I did. But yes, the refresh worked and you're back in sync. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Freaky said I had to get refresh to get the right watch number showing. What have we got? 37 according to what I can see. So yeah. That's a rough bit there. We'll just stitch that straight up. Chintami says that she weaves and ends like me. Artsug, hi Artsug, welcome back to the chat. Says that I tend to go this way, then that way, then this way, so the friction holds it in. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But Freaky says the thumb count needs a boost. I mean, I agree with you, Freaky. For sure. I've got 38 and 24 that I'm seeing here, but I might be, out of, sync a little. Pretty close. Freaky says I use a crochet hook to weave in the ends. Really? That's an interesting way. Does it work well? I mean, I like crochet hooks, so, I would definitely be up to give that a try. I do like being able to weave through stitches, like actually through the yarn sometimes, depending, like not so much with this one, but if I'm working with something slinky like silk or bamboo or something like that, I actually like to be able to go between the strands of the threads. I find that it helps keep those sneaky little ends in. TV says 38 watching, but it also says started 2 minutes ago. I think your TV is wrong on the start time, at least. Well, okay, Natalie, we'll allow that this once. Also, no judgment from me because I will hang out in my pajamas until I absolutely don't have to be in my pajamas anymore. It is a discussion we have amongst my family. It'll be like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm, in the lounge room crocheting in my pajamas, and my husband and daughter are like, "Are you going to get out of your pajamas?" I'm like, "Why? I can just put clean ones on. These are fine. I'm fine." So yeah, no judgment from me. Sal says I just normally do one straight line, and then where is it? I've lost it. I go through one straight line, but if I feel like being a rebel, I go back. Fair enough. Kathy says I use a chenille needle and go through the threads, go through a few stitches one way and then another. I'm using the Clover Chibis, but it's a similar idea as the chenille stitches, which is big-eyed needle. But I do like these bent tips that you get for the chibis. I find that it just makes it a bit easier for me. I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but I definitely like them. Back to pajamas, yes. But do you really need to be out of your PJs? They're still clothes. See, that's how I see it. Absolutely. And then I'll do things like come out of the bedroom and my husband will look at me and he goes, "Aren't they pajamas too?" And I'm like, "They're daytime pajamas." Because pajamas are comfy. And if I don't have to go anywhere, why would I want to wear clothes that are not comfy, honestly? So as Game Widow says, I'm still in my pajamas. Awesome. Sal says I was in my PJs all day on Sunday. It was too hot and I couldn't be bothered to even have a shower. Fair enough. Now, I did see a question here. Jenna is asking how to join the fun zone. Jenna, no, it is on Facebook. Absolutely. If somebody can pop a link into the chat to join the fun zone, you just need to answer a couple of questions. And they're really difficult questions, things along the lines of, do you like yarn? Which I'm assuming you like yarn. So yeah, they're very difficult. It's more just to keep out, like, the undesirables. We don't want the undesirables in our Facebook group. So where are we? All clothes need to be comfortable as PJs. Wouldn't that be amazing? I would love that. In saying that, like, most of my clothes pretty well are as comfortable as PJs. I have a few that aren't as comfortable as PJs, but most of them are pretty good. Abby's been stealing all my old nerd shirts that don't quite fit at the moment. So she's making sure they're getting good wear. So she's loving them. There we go. Sal's popped in the link. So if you just click on that link, jump over to Facebook, answer the questions. If you answer all 3 questions, it should automatically let you in. If not, I'll double check after the live stream. But you should, if you answer all the questions, it should automatically let you in. Jenna loves yarn. Awesome. Excellent. You're in the right place. We all love yarn. Leanne says, I am dressed, but I'm heading out. So, yeah. I mean, I'm dressed-ish. These are very stretchy, comfortable clothes. So, yeah. It's to keep out the bots. It is to keep out the bots. And the people that are selling, like, Ray-Bans. So, yeah. Went rummaging through my bag of stash for a color for the next block of my blanket, only to realize the one I want was sitting on a shelf next to me. Oh, I laugh because I've done it. It's got to be here somewhere. And then it's just right there. Yeah. Yeah, Ruth, like, why do we have to get out of our pajamas? Like, pajamas are so comfy. And people who judge people for being in their pajamas while they're still in their own home. Look, I'm not a fan of public wearing of pajamas. I think that if I'm going out, I can make the effort to put on some, less pajama-y clothes. So I do, unless I'm at a doctor's surgery or something like that, because I think if you're going to the doctors and you're really sick, or you've got sick kids or something, you just go. You don't think about what you're wearing. That doesn't bother me. But grocery shopping, things like that, I suppose, is that a thing outside of Australia? Like, if you go to Woolies or which is, you know, one of my big supermarkets here, you can turn around and there'll be people shopping in onesies and stuff like that. I don't know if that's maybe that's just a Logan thing. It could be. It could be. But yeah, I run the Fun Zone. It's just a really, basically everyone who's, well, I think just about everybody here who's in the chat is over in the Fun Zone as well. And it's a place where you can share your photos and your projects and ask questions. And it's like an amazing cheer squad that is not just on Thursdays, it's every day. So if you need encouragement or if you've just got stuff happening, it's a private group. So anything you post in there won't be shared out through the Facebook feeds. So if you've got a project that you're working on as a gift for somebody, as long as they're not a member of the group, then they won't see it. So it sometimes can be a nice place to get feedback. But yeah, I like it. I mean, am I biased? Possibly. But I still like it. I mean, lucky I like it is kind of really the point, isn't it? That just didn't pull in enough. No, I don't even notice it on the right side, so I don't care. That's something I'm seeing talked about, naked or nude links that are being called it's necessary. Is this in like Facebook groups, like where people just link drop? Because I hate link droppers. I call it link dropping. I don't call it naked or nude links because there's bots in different social medias that if you use that terminology, you could actually have your post deleted just because you use that word. So I tend to call it link dropping. I don't like link dropping. There needs to be a reason why your link was put in and say why, you know, like, hey, this is that pattern you guys were talking about that you wanted me to share, link drop. Hey, I want to make this thing, you know, well, not link drop, but, you know, here is the link. But if you just drop the link, we don't know what the context of it is. And I may even remove it. But yeah, I've got in a lot of Facebook groups where there's no link dropping allowed. Oh, man, seriously, how long is that hair? It's obviously not one of mine. Must be one of Abby's. Jeepers. Am I going to be able to get that out? Well, it broke. Oh, well, I suppose there had to be hair in the blanket somewhere, right? It's kind of tradition. Vampire says I'm not allowed to have pajama days. Apparently strutting around in my underwear all day is inappropriate with a teenager. Yes, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I agree with Vampire. Also the strutting. Now I've got a visual image, and that's not awesome. I mean, considering I have no idea what you look like, I still have a visual image of some dude just, it's the strutting that did it. So yay, awesome visual creation of images, brain. This is one of the reasons why I don't like you. Oh, Holly's off. Oh, Holly has been driving home. Hey, Holly, it's good to see you in the chat. Jenna says, I think I may already be a member of the Fun Zone. There you go. Maybe you just forgot where it was. Or, you know, we just hadn't come up for a bit. Yeah, so look, I have really short hair at the moment, and so I'm not so much crocheting into projects, but usually my longer hair is in projects, but that one must have been one of Abby's. That one was like really long. So yeah. Sally tends to link drop a lot. Okay, Sally. I'm going to keep an eye out for that now. Okay, awesome. I have caught up with the chat. Yay. Yeah, I think it depends on the group that you're in, Leanne. Just talking more about the link dropping. Some groups have got rules about it, some don't. Some groups don't mind it at all, as long as it's related to the discussion. But I just think if there's no context to a link, it's meaningless. Like, unless you're replying to someone saying, hey, does anyone have a link to this pattern? Like, that is definitely an exception because it has context. My favorite one at the moment, and I don't know which group I saw it in, it may have been the Fun Zone, but it's where people like find a Pinterest photo of something and they're like, hey, I can't find the free version of this pattern. But usually when it's on Pinterest and they're like, it's a free pattern, it's actually just one of those ad wells where you just keep having to click through links and more ads pop up and more ads pop up. And then you actually never get to the pattern, or you give up because, you know, no one's time is worth that many ads. But then you find out the designer who made it actually doesn't have it for free at all. So, you know, looking for the free version is never going to work. That's always a fun one. I hate those sort of ad wells where you just keep falling through the ads. Sue says, just wondering if the Spring Frost pattern would suit a llama cotton blend. It's a bit textured. The llama cotton blended is a bit textured. Look, we're trying to create texture. So, I mean, some of the other versions have got more texture than mine, but I already pulled mine out twice, so I wasn't going to go through and add more. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to put it on an angle here for this top camera. So let's make you the only camera. Oh, if I do that, there's no audio. Let's not do that. Oh, I've just realized that, is there audio for this? No, good. Yeah, that's something I probably should have checked earlier. I think it's definitely worth doing the little swatch. Honestly, there's a little swatch with it's like 18 centimeters long. That's part of the pattern. I do have a link in the description. And so you can check that out there. But I think it would totally be worth definitely be worth doing a swatch to see if you like how it looks. Oh, Jenna says it used to be free years ago. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes a designer will sell a pattern to a yarn company for, you know, X amount of years, and that yarn company gives it away for free. Then the rights revert back to the designer. So technically the designer never had it free, but it was free somewhere. And so the designer charged for their work, which is fair enough. But the other thing is, just because a pattern was free once doesn't mean it has to be free forever. So, you know, like a designer may tweak it, or the other thing is quite a few beginner designers don't and I don't want this to sound negative at all because it's not meant to be, but they don't value their worth. They don't value the fact that they've just put in 100 hours into something and they think it's not worth anything. And then they realize that they're wrong and that it is worth something, and then they add a price to it. I don't see that as a bad thing. I can see the frustration when you're looking for the free version and you're expecting it to be free and it's not there anymore. But it's just one of those sort of, you know, things that arise sometimes. But I do think that if we don't support and pay our yarn crafting inspirations, the designers, like Addict 24, this is the Spring Frost, by the way, Ruth. Yes, it is. Addict 24 doesn't charge for her patterns. Her income comes from, she has like a buy me a coffee on her website, but I'm also assuming, and this is an assumption, I'm assuming that she would get a percentage of the kits that are sold. Now, I don't know this for a fact. I am assuming it. It would seem silly to me to have such a large push to these kits if there was no monetary gain for her. But yeah, I would assume that she gets something for them. But she has made it so that if you have your own yarn or you want to still do the cowl, that you can. All the instructions are there. Everything else is free. So we've only just, week 2 is only coming out tomorrow night, my time. So she's a UK designer, so everything comes out in UK time zones. So if you've still got time to catch up, if you want to jump in and you want to use stash yarn, you need 1,500-gram balls. The meterage on these is 295 meters per 100 grams, thereabouts. Do we have yardage? 322 yards per 100 grams. I don't know what 100 grams is in ounces. What is that, like just shy of 4 ounces? I don't know, something like that. I'm really bad with weights and conversions. But yeah, it's totally not too late to start. I definitely do the swatch though. Normally I would never swatch a blanket. And I didn't swatch to start with. And then by Friday night, I'd gotten to sort of, where was I up to? I think I was up to here, to the 4th color, and realized I had no texture. My pattern was totally flat. And it was just like, whoop, I had to pull it all out and tighten up this stitch here. The spike stitch. I don't know. Chintelle, IKEA has started again. We had our first hangout on last week or the one before, but I couldn't go. I don't think it actually stopped over Christmas. I just couldn't always go was the issue. And then I missed one because I was sick. But it started. So it's back 1st and 3rd Thursdays of the month. Although in saying that, IKEA doesn't seem to have a lot of food options as of this week, which was quite frustrating for a lot of people. So it was pretty quiet in the food court. Looked like they had no fries going. So, you know, that rules out quite a large portion of their menu. Leanne says one of our Friday ladies finished a stash fireside. It's very lovely. Oh, that's awesome. I love using stash like stuff, but I quite often don't have like blanket quantities of the same or similar enough yarns, like that they're all similar to each other. Like it doesn't have to be similar to the pattern, but just similar to each other. So I quite often just, you know, have to buy yarn. So that happens. Kathy says, I have seen some designers increase the price of their patterns over time. I've seen when the designer put their patterns out in a discount for a few days. Yeah, and that totally happens. Like I see some designers who are like, you know, it's my wedding anniversary or something, and it's like 25 years. So I'm going to have a 25% off discount for this weekend while I'm away. You know, things like that. Like always keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. But and I understand we all need to be watching our bank balances and watching our pockets. But if you don't actually financially support a designer in some fashion, then they're likely to going to have to quit at some stage because they also have to keep food on the table. So I don't think we can expect designers to work for free forever. Put out the occasional free pattern, sure. But all the good designers will charge eventually, or they'll work out a way to monetize, like Lucy from Attic 24 has. She keeps the patterns free by offering kits and things like that. So even the projects like the Fireside, where there was not a crochet along, as far as I'm aware, you could still purchase the kit. So, because I think Shanna does, I mean, I don't know enough about Attic 24. This is my first crochet along with her. And I think the Fireside is actually my first project of hers that I've done. At least I think so. I mean, who knows? I've made a lot of stuff over the years. Lisby says, I'm allowed out and about now. Maybe I can actually try to come. That would be awesome. We'd love to have you back. We would. Freaky says, I've cut back on buying yarn and switched to buying fiber. That's one of the things I love about fiber is like, yep, it's not as cheap. Like buying a ball of acrylic, 100 grams of acrylic yarn, a couple of bucks. Buying 100 grams of fiber, probably more like 15 to 20 bucks, depending on countries and stuff. The difference being the fiber first has to be spun, so you get to play with it for that bit. Then you get to craft with it. So you get to double dip on the time with it. Rue says, so it's a DK weight. Yeah, this one's a DK. So Style Craft Special DK. So, yeah. Most patterns are no more costly than a coffee and a cake out, for example. Please put, look, and you know what, as a sewer as well, like comparing knitwear and crochet patterns to sewing patterns, I will pay $20 for a sewing pattern without blinking, because that's their starting price. And then with sewing patterns, say I want, you know, this size range, that's $20. But if I want this other size range, that's $20. Crocheters and knitters are expected to do all of the size ranges for like $5 or $6. And it's actually more work, because sewers choose their fabrics. Knitwear and crochet designers create the fabric. So, you know, like I suppose it depends on how you look at things. And saying that, I don't buy many sewing patterns because of the cost. I found when swatching for the spring frost, in order to get the texture to look like the designer's photos, my fabric was too dense. I decided to go less dense and less texture. Me too. And I think the big thing, big thing was when you read through all the instructions, she's very clear that she is a tight crocheter. And she had to go up to, I can't remember the hook size, but she specified the hook size that she had to go up to. I am an exceptionally loose crocheter. And I had to drop down to a 4 mil and was still getting the loose fabric. Now I dropped down to a 3.5 to do a texture, like a swatch. And while I got the texture I wanted, it wasn't long enough. It made it much too small, and it was cardboardy. I didn't like how it felt. So ideally, I would have liked a 3.75 mil hook, which I know I had at one stage. I think my boy hook set might have a 3 point, but it has no squishy handle. So I wouldn't want to use it long term for a blanket. But yeah, anyway, it's definitely, you've got to decide like what you'll be happy with. And I realized the photos that I took of the much less textured than this, I actually still liked it. So I probably could have just kept going. But all I changed was I kept the same hook size, but I really am cinching up these, like, because she's like, do them loose and make them long. And that's what I did. And then end up with a really flat fabric with no texture. And now I'm like, strangle them. So yeah. Freaky says, I made her ripple blanket from a kit. Yeah. No, Knit Spin Girls. I'm reading Freaky's $15 before tax for fiber. Yep. But you get more time with it. And so I think that's where the value is with buying fiber. I made a ripple blanket from a kit. I enjoyed it so much, I bought another one in a different colorway. Ruth says, okay, I wonder how it would look in a 4-weight yarn and have a large stash of 4-weight. 4-weight, is that worsted? Is worsted the number 4? Because I can imagine it would be fine. You would probably just need like one less repeat to get the same, like a repeat or 2 less to get the width. She has a swatch there, so you can work out how many less you would need to do to get gauge based on the swatch. And she also has a Facebook page, and so you can, there'd probably be other people who are doing it in 4-weight. So yeah. Slightly off topic. That's okay. We're happy to go off topics. I finished my first pair of knitted socks last month, and I'm totally hooked on knitting socks. I have 2 pairs on the go now. Oh, Holly, you have gone down the sock rabbit hole. That is awesome. I'm glad you are loving it. Socks are one of those love them or love to hate them things. there's definitely two types of knitters. Some people do not enjoy making socks, and some people love making socks. I love the idea of making socks, and I tend to make a lot of single socks, and I've got to get over that because I actually love wearing hand knitted socks so much. They just fit just perfectly because they're hand knitted. I would highly recommend if you go over to my in the description, I've got a link to an Amazon store. In there are some sock knitting books that I absolutely love, and they are like specifically the ones I'm thinking of right now are the Charlene Church books. They are like recipes for patterns. So basically these two little books, which cost me hardly anything really in the scheme of things, and you can make socks out of any weight yarn you want, any size socks you want. The instructions are written for double pointed, two circulars, and a single circular. Like it just covers everything. It's so good. And it's written out sort of like it takes a little bit to get used to how it's written, but it's because it's covering all these different options. So many different cute patterns if you want patterns. And I made my husband socks using worsted weight yarn, adjusting it with this book, making the exact same patterns that I could make with 4-ply socks. Kathy says, I've done the Attic 24 hydrangea pattern using 4-weight. It was quite squishy. I mean, that sounds amazing to me. I love a good squishy blanket. Sally said, I was thinking of 4-ply. 4-weight is 4-ply. You won't need to add extra repeats. No, I think probably less. Unless you're like me and want to make a queen size blanket that's ginormous, then use worsted yarn and add extra repeats, which is exactly what I did. Dolores says, I think I'm loose length of the stitch, but not the width. No, Dolores, I'm the same. So with my 4mm hook, I got the 18 centimeters, like no problems, but it was too long in the stitches. So I have the same problem. Yeah. But you still, but you went down to the 3.5 and still had to drop a few stitches for the desired width. Huh. Okay. Maybe we are a bit different. I don't know. I ended up getting the right. I'm a little short. I got 17.5 centimeters, and I'm like close enough. Because it was like 18 centimeters for. I can't remember how many stitches. Like it's written in the pattern. The pattern's free. Go on, huh? Like if so. Knitspin Girl says, I'm completely addicted to knitting socks. I don't even wear commercial ones anymore. Gosh, I still have plenty of commercial socks. Well, I mean, we're up to the last repeat, first one. So that'll be nice so that I know that tomorrow when I start, because I don't know if I'll start working on the next thing tonight. I realized the next part is what I'm trying to say. My brain's not giving me the words. I realized that part of the problem was I was chatting with my Friday night Zoomy pals, and I was not focusing on the pattern properly, which is why I didn't realize that I wasn't getting the squish until I was like 6 rows in or something. But yeah, it's actually very fun. I was kind of hoping to have all of this finished by Sunday of last weekend, so I could work on Fireside, which I'll grab out in a second. So that's all the ends I'm going to weave in for now. That's the back. So this is the front. So that's where it's up to so far. So I've got three. Oh, yeah, that's 3. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6. I'm up to about 40 rows right now. And it is, so that's not finished. There needs to be another row of color there. But it's it is like 20, just shy of 25 centimeters, or 9.5 inches. So, yeah. Fingers crossed that I'm doing it right, because I've already woven the ends in now. I try not to weave in the ends until later. So, because, you know, if I screw it up, I want to be able to pull things out quite easily. Game Widow says, my Beersheba fiber order is on its way. Awesomeness. That is awesome. Actually, see, this is the thing. Clover crochet hook. In it goes. Pair of scissors. In they go. Zip it closed. Oh, wait a second. I've still got a couple of, I realized I'd flipped the work when I'd put it down. And while I went back, like I worked it out and fixed up a whole pile like to here, I wasn't going to pull back all these rows just to do these ones. I'm like, you know what? It'll be fine. No one will know. So shh, don't tell anybody. We'll get these ends woven in and then no one will ever know. Okay? I'm on the right side here. I might flip over for the others. Not that it really will make any difference, but I prefer to weave in on the wrong side. It's just a foible. It's a foible. It doesn't matter, really. I saw an announcement from Stephen West the other day. He's doing a Year of Socks ebook on Ravelry this year, adding a pattern every month. I think it's like $60 Australian. For 12 sock patterns, that's a bargain. Sue says, my antique circular sock machine went in for repairs in September and still not back. Oh, gosh. That is frustrating, isn't it? Rebecca Nelson is working on a cowl. Or you're asking if I'm... No, this is a blanket. I'm just weaving in some ends right now. Just of this first section of a cowl that I'm working on. So, cowl, not cow. Yeah. I may have said cowl, which does sound like cow when you're Australian and your accent's just dodgy as. But yeah, no, this one's the Spring Frost blanket from Attic 24. I've got her kit that she was selling through, I want to say Wool Warehouse. Can someone correct me if I'm wrong? The kit was really good value, I thought. 15 balls of yarn and postage to Australia was 75 Australian dollars. I personally think that was great. Works out about $5 a ball, which is A-okay with me. That, and I didn't have to go hunting down all the colors, which I definitely appreciate. It definitely saves effort. Make sure that I'm not pulling that corner stitch up. Go. Okay, now I have all the ends woven in. Alrighty, back in there. In you go. Okay, Wool Warehouse. Oh, thank you. Oh, scissors in. Yeah, I thought it was really great value for me personally. I think I paid a similar price for the Fireside with its 12. I keep looking at this thinking it's tail out, but it's technically a tail. It's still got to go in, but it's working yarn right now. But yeah, there's definitely texture to it. I can definitely feel the texture. So yeah, Lisby says, I got a whole heap of knitting books for Christmas and I don't understand any of the terms. Lisby, bring them to Caffeinated Crafters and we'll help you. Wool Warehouse, yep, excellent, thank you. Yeah, and Freaky's right. There should be a page somewhere in your patterns, the legend or the there's another word for it, which my brain stitch descriptions that should describe everything, but it doesn't always. I bought Steven's sock patterns knowing that my knitting skills are not there yet, but my goal is to make at least one of them. And do you know what? This is the thing. It's like, oh, I'm not there yet. And you know what? You may not be there right now, but if you've got a goal, if you're like, I'm going to make this thing, then you will get there. Whereas if you're like, I'm not there yet and have no sort of like no image in sight, you won't push. I've been busy plus sick for the holidays. That's why I haven't been here. Oh, that's all right. We haven't been here much either, truth be told, because I shut down a lot of things for the holiday so I could have a proper holiday. And then I got sick for my last week off, which annoyed me. I was really ticked off about that, actually. I felt insulted by my body. Thanks, body, for doing that to me. But I know it's like, yeah. I don't understand it enough. I'll definitely bring it with me. Yeah, bring it along. We'll help you for sure. There we go. See, I'm just tidying all this up now because I can't. I really just want to work on it, but I can't. I don't have approval from Lucy. She still hasn't even responded about the fireside yet. So that's where this one's up to. That's the last color. So these are all the colors that are going in. There you go. You can see the green on that one on that side. I love these colors. Abby was looking at it and she was like, who's this going to be for? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm just making it. Do you like it? And she didn't say no. So maybe Abby will want it. Maybe it can be a blanket for the back seat of her car. I don't know.
What is it?
This blanket I'm working on. She's like, ears pricked up. Oh, she's just going to, yeah, it's mine, isn't it? I mean, it can be. So yeah, if Abby wants it, it's hers. Determination can carry you over the line in crafting. Absolutely. Look, I know there's a lot of people who learn how to knit knitting socks. I didn't. I learned how to knit doing other things, but I sort of look at it and go, oh my God, I could never have made socks first. But those people didn't know that there was an option because they were taught knitting socks. So it's one of those things. Holly says, I signed up for a year-long knitting class that starts next Sunday, and I'm very excited about learning all sorts of techniques. That does sound awesome. That sounds so good. I love that idea. And I hope you get some, and as Sue said, that is a commitment for sure. But I think that's great. That's you going, I'm going to learn how to knit, and I'm going to learn how to knit all these cool things. So I love that. So yeah. Yeah, I think spell check did get you on that one, Freaky. Kelly said that now that you have the stitch tension, using words, now that you have the stitch tension sorted, do you think the cows row for each week is achievable? I think so. Because the reality is by the time I did this much, hang on, I'll move that. I did this much and then pulled it out. And then I did the 18 centimeter swatch in a different size, like in the swatch size in a few colors, and pulled that out. And then did another 18 centimeter swatch with a different hook doing the tighter stitches and then pulled that out. I had the majority of this done I think I got up to about here before the end of the weekend after pulling out this much of it already once, plus probably the equivalent of maybe another this much. So I think so. I do. I'll wait and see I'll hold judgment until I see what we're expected to do for the next step. Because I really did want to continue working on my fireside, but I haven't done any fireside this week at all. I've only worked on this. So, because I've been doing other things and having whole days in the car and stuff like that where I'm driving. So I can't crochet and drive at the same time. Oh, joy it will be when we can start doing that. Ruth says, I just checked the Wool Warehouse and the kit for me is $40 American. Not bad. Does that include your postage? Because that's great. like, because it's 15 balls. I think that's decent value. I mean, if you've got a deal like a local store that you can go, I want one of each of these colors, because she lists them out on her website. It's all very public and very open. If you've got a local store that does all the special DK and there's 2 of the baby yarns, then you could possibly get it a bit cheaper. But it came in like, it's out in the lounge room, but it's come in like a big like organza bag. So I'm using that as the project bag. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Lisby says, I can't crochet well in the car, stupid motion sickness. I'm not real good at, I can't. I plan to, I mean to, and I start and then a headache kicks in and I'm like, no, stopping. Yeah. Oh, I love how this sounds like it's been set up, Holly. That I do. I like how that sounds up, how that set up. I think that sounds fun and not too over the top. There's like, while yes, it's a commitment for 12 months, they're not expecting you to make like, half a blanket in a month. That it's 2 squares a month. That sounds really doable. So yeah, I am going to reach down. I've got my fireside here, so I'll show it to you. But this afternoon, I'm going to finish this. This is, I will post photos in the fun zone. You guys can keep me accountable. But in this afternoon, so this live stream finishes at 12, like 12 p.m. my time. So, Thursday afternoon. And by 5 o'clock, so within 5 hours of the live stream being finished, I gotta have lunch. I gotta deal with mechanics. So, all that stuff. But I will have these last 2 rows on. They don't take that long to do, really. I keep telling myself that. But this afternoon, I'll make sure it's done. Leanne says, I think they're lovely Easter colors. I do too. And there's a couple of colors that I don't like. Like, I just don't like them. Like, where is it? This mushroom, not a big fan. And this grey purple, not a big fan. But without them, this blanket would be diminished. So I can put up with them for a couple of quick rows in between colors I do like. It's not like the yellow of the Queen that just slowed me down so much, because working in that yellow just really messed with my brain. So where are we? Oh, John says, I got my tequila sunrise kit from Wool Warehouse. Awesome. Like, I know that like a lot of Americans are like, oh my gosh, why would you order your yarn from the UK? They have really well made kits, and that's why you go. If it's a no-brainer, and like I ordered and had it here within Australia within 2 weeks. Like at the moment, I can't order from Melbourne and get something to me in 2 weeks. So I was just like excited that it was on its way, and then it made it through customs, and then it was right here. Hang on, have I missed something? Oh, yeah, okay. I saw it. I've seen it now. You guys drew my attention. I'm not going to say it, but I did notice it now. I read it and didn't see it, but now I've seen it. I can't unsee it. Yeah. Yeah. Sally says, I thought it was because of the tequila that it was kept for review. Nope. But yeah, but to me, this has got just enough texture, I think. I like it. Anyway, where is here it is. Fireside is over here. Come on, little fireside. Out you come. Let me put this one aside. Oops. Little pouches. These are all our ends. We ended up with, a few, but nothing too terrible. See, I now I'm using a humbug for every project. That's how much I'm loving these humbugs. I have to move this one with that project because there's this one for this project, which is like little sock monkeys. And again, I actually really like adding in the extra stitch marker onto the zip pull. So in this one, I have my 4mm hook, my scissors, some chibbies, a highlighter, and a packet of stitch markers. I have the highlighter because of how I'm working through the pattern. Okay, which I'll show you in a second. There we go. Alrighty. Up on the chair properly, Chantelle. All right, I'm going to go big screen on this one for just a second because we are here. That's where we're up to with the fireside. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So this is the top. Hang on, flip it over. There's the top. And then we've got this extra little corner down here. We're starting a row of all of the, we're starting this sort of row in here next. And in the pattern, the reason I have my highlighter is because I highlight the rows, which tell us our colors, but they also have a chart which show us where we're up to. So once I finish the square and weave in its ends, then I highlight the square, and then I'll go through and do it that way. So I'm getting there. I'm pairing. But I am loving working on both these patterns. And this one, because it was not a crochet along, it actually came with a full printed pattern. Oops, I've got just little markers. And it's like, this is a gloss page. And then the rest of it's really like good quality paper. And all the instructions are there. I haven't had to look online for anything. And so I just printed out, because you can also download the PDF. I just printed out these pages again, just on my printer, just so I can scratch all over them. But it also came with, there's a version of the pattern that just uses stripes. And so it's come with the stripe worksheet as well. So if you didn't want to make squares and you just want to make stripes, there's a stripe version. So yeah. And then we've got all our border colors. So that page is the third page. So, you know, I'll move over to that soon. But that's where I'm at. It's join as you go, knit spin girls on this particular one. So you get to, like, you do the first row of the, you do like the first, like I probably started it here, the first row, and then start crochet join as you go. And I'm really enjoying that. There's a lot of ends to weave in, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, I'm persevering and I'm proud of myself, because I know that once I get because it's all this to start with, and then the border is like 20 rounds of color. So it's supposed to come out to about 1.2 meters square. What do I do with my tape? Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry, microphone. But right now, I'm just, come on. I'm failing this. Oh, hello, Louie. I can see that little dog. Louie's in. But right now, it's currently at 83 centimeters. So it's gotta make up 20 centimeters of border on each side. Like, that's a, how I could do, there's 20 rounds, a 22 round border. So yeah, that could totally do it. But yeah, so I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I'm loving the colors. I know where this one's going when it's done as well. This one's going up to my dad, because he does not have a knee blanket. And if there's any extra yarn and I can squeeze in an extra couple of rounds, I will. He's a bit taller than I am, so I'd love to make sure it's long enough for him. So Leanne says, I'm fireside over the spring frost. So you prefer the fireside to the spring? Yeah, they're totally different color palettes, which, you know, I love them both. I really do. I don't have a favorite. I don't. I think they're fantastic. Yeah, so this is my first real experience of diving in deep to the Attic 24 patterns. I've got this feeling I've done something of hers like years and years and years and years ago, like when I was a baby crocheter. But I just can't think of what it was. I really can't. But yeah, so I'm very much enjoying both of these, and they're so different. But the patterns are really, really pretty. Like this one, other than the description and how to do the actual texture, I was a bit iffy about that, and I thought it was just me. And then I was in the group, and there's actually a few people having a similar problem. But then I remembered that she was very clear that she's a really tight crocheter. So her idea of making a loose stitch versus my idea of making a loose stitch would be totally different. So yeah. Ruth said just rechecked with shipping at $60 US. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it was 75 Australian, so that sounds about right. Yeah, so Abby's scoring the Spring Frost and Poppy Shane is getting the fireside blanket. Yeah, they are very lucky. I think so. But it also means Abby might give me back one of my other blankets that she's been eyeing off. So, Leanne says the sweet pea was another Attic 24 that was popular in my craft group. I don't know the sweet pea off the top of my. I'm going to have to go and have a dig. Actually, I'm not going to go and have a dig because I might be all like, oh, I'll add that one to the list. And I currently have 2 blankets on the go. Like, I was like, oh, the stress of the queen was too much. So I'm going to make 2 blankets instead. Now, this one's a knee rug. The fireside's a knee rug. So, and because I'm making it as a kit, I have to keep the gauge. I can't make it bigger. I'll run out of yarn. So keep it as a knee rug. And I thought this one was a knee rug, but it turns out it's single bed. So that one's going to be a bit bigger than I anticipated, possibly. But I'm still content as long as I can keep up. For a non-confident crocheter, her patterns are really well written. That was something that she wrote in one of her blog posts. Was that especially the crochet alongs, so not so much this one, but the Spring Frost, these crochet along patterns, they are designed for beginner crocheters to be able to do them. So, and I think that's something I'm loving about it, is I can just sit in the lounge room watching TV and just be like, next color. This one's a little bit, because you got to make sure you're choosing the right colors for the rounds. It's a little more keep an eye on it, but they're both very much mindless craft, which I'm really, after the Queen, which to me did not feel like mindless craft, I'm feeling quite good about both of these. Oh, you like the more vibrant, richer, deeper colors? Sal says, I reckon I put the cozy blanket kit, but made a different pattern out of it. Okay. Dolores says, I really can't have 2 blankets on the go. You keep telling yourself that. Yeah, I mean, okay. Oh my gosh. Dolores, do you have both on the go? I know you're doing the Spring Frost. Are you also doing a fireside? Rebecca, like, seriously, if you haven't crocheted in years and you just, need a change, make yourself a knee rug. Like, you're in the US, you've got access to really inexpensive, good quality acrylic. It's not so easy to get here in Australia. We really do have to import the good quality acrylic. There are some places that will sell the occasional one that's not bad. But I really do end up importing. So Leanne says it's very confidence building when you can achieve such a lovely finish. Yes. Oh my gosh, it is. So yeah, it is definitely, I really do look at that. It's and I love how they look finished. Well, I mean, neither of these are finished, but I'm loving how, like, the edges are coming up. Like, that's the edge. That was my fault there. I know that was my fault. Does anyone know, is there a border on the spring frost? I don't know if there is. I might have to add one to hide my little blubby blub there. I didn't pull that in enough when I was weaving in the ends. It'll soften off when I wash it right. Yeah. Like the little blubby blub. Oh, Leanne says there's a 2-round border. Okay, cool. Good. That'll just tidy that up a little. That's awesome. See, I haven't even looked. Like I should possibly read through the pattern, shouldn't I? But yeah, I don't know if there's a if there is a thing. I'm just having a look here. I was tempted but decided against the second. I do have one Colourworks sock and a charity corner to corner knee rug on the go. Oh, knit knee rug. Oh, hang on. I've just found that there is a. I just want to pop this back on here, just so I don't lose it. I mean, okay. Oh, you were laughing at me. All right. I'm glad I'm amusing. You only know from Melissa, because Melissa, who is in the chat sometimes as well, she is also doing the spring frost, and she has the fireside. I don't know. I think she has the fireside. Yeah, she does, because we bought our kits together. Because when we bought the fireside, if we combine, like, because we're not that far from each other geographically, like we can go and hang out and have coffee and stuff. When we bought the first kit, if you bought a few kits, it saved on postage. So we did it that way. But with the spring frost, it didn't matter how many you put in the cart, the postage was going up by the same amount. So we realized it was just as easy to get them delivered to our own homes. So we did that. Oh, and Deb has started her fireside as well. And Deb has bought did Deb buy the fireside or did she buy fireside or spring frost, or did she get, I don't know what I know she's definitely got fireside. Anyway, I'm loving them both, and they're both a different feel when I'm working on them, and they're both using different yarns, because like the fireside's using, it's still Stylecraft. Hang on, bring back the other camera. While it's still Stylecraft, it's actually the Highland Heathers rather than the Special DK. So it is still acrylic. I'm just double checking. Yeah, still acrylic, but the colors are totally different. Like, so it's a semi-tonal, kind of like a lot of the colors I used to dye. That's what it really reminded me of. So these are like solids, and these are like semi-solids. It's probably not the best one to show. Hang on. So see how this one's got like hints of, like it's a dark blue, but there's hints of teal, which you possibly can't see. Hints of teal, hints of purple. So it's like all these different colors come to, it's got some yarn bar like spewed out. But yeah, and all their colors are like that. Like this one's got different shades of purples and some gray, but so all the colors are these kind of semi-solid multi-tonals, which I love. So yeah, get back in the crate, back to the safe, over there. There we go. How does it, I would say that the fireside, the Highland Heathers are softer than the Special DK. So yeah, Kathy says that in the past she gives, yeah, there's week 7 is a catch-up week. Okay, and then there's a week 8. So yeah. So yeah, so she's got that listed in there, and she said to use that to weave in your ends, catch up any rows, so that when you finish the week 8, you're all done. Yeah, so I would say that the Highland Heathers is softer than Special DK. Bye, Vampire. Enjoy your lunch. Dolores says, good to know, just in case. Yeah, Dolores, I do think, sorry, I can just keep seeing this piece of fluff in my hair and I can't get it. So I'm just going to just do this. Did I get it? No, it's still this. Come on, Fluffs. Ha ha ha. I have you now, I think. Ha ha ha. I win. It only took 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just double checking. I just saw something come through here and I just need to make sure it's not the mechanic. It was not. Yeah. Oh, I pressed it twice. Go back. There we go. But yeah, just to know, I like that. I like, yeah, I like the Highland Heathers better, personally. I like both of them for the projects that they're creating. And if you could get similar colors as you know, the similar colors for making the spring frost in the Highland Heathers, like that soft tonals. I haven't looked. I'm not going to look because I don't want to be making my own kits right now. I'm enjoying the fact that somebody else is doing the work and I'm just doing the crocheting, and I'm kicking back on the couch and I'm putting on Supernatural or I'm putting on NCIS or just whatever I feel like, and actually just crafting with no purpose. Which it feels like it's been a long time coming for that, because I realized I probably may have mentioned this, but I've realized that when I made the decision to shut down the online store, my need to craft increased back in again, which is back. It's not quite back to where it used to be. I used to be like, I could not sit in front of the TV and not craft. Whereas it took a long time. Like I lost that. I basically would watch TV and stuff and just zombie it. But yeah, it is definitely one of those things where I didn't realize how much I was missing it. So yeah. Oh, Game Widows doesn't ship to Canada. Oh no. I know we've just recently been able to get her to ship to the US, but international shipping is not easy. What are you picking up there, little camera? I don't know. Oh, it's the top of the monitor. Oh, there we go. I'll just gone now. I just wanted to say thank you for the link for my craft light. I love it and use it every day. And I was happy to purchase it through your Amazon affiliate. Thank you, Leanne. I am glad that you found a light you love. It is definitely one of those amazing things to have good light when you're working. It makes a huge difference. When we rearrange the house for Christmas, we have added in an extra power board somewhere where we've never put one, which it seems stupid, but it's there now. And it's meant that we don't have to run cords like for the lights across the walkway between the couches anymore, which is like, we've only lived here for 15 years. So it's made a huge difference. And so now my crafting light is nice and safe. No one's kicking the cords out anymore. So I'm loving having my craft light right where I want it. So yeah, Freaky, she's shipping from Australia. It's going to be a long, long time. Rebecca says you don't have an online store anymore. Look, it's still there, Rebecca. But I am selling out my stock, my non-Margicraft stock at 40% off. So there is still some stuff there. It's getting less and less now. And so, there's obviously some needle sizes that are already gone and I won't be ordering any more in. But yeah, I'm closing down the online store and I'm not closing it down. I'm changing it. So I'll still be a Margicraft dealer for this part of Queensland. And I will be writing in more sort of blog posts, and because we have the video portion and some people do like to read things, so I'm going to be creating some blog posts. I'm going to be, doing some reviews and things like that. And I will still be doing blinglets. I have a ton of blinglets ready to be made. But I'll be doing like drops as such, like, hey guys, I've just made a pile of blinglets. They're over there now. You can grab them if you want. And there'll still be some occasional little bits and pieces like badges and and like, you know, the totes and things like that. There'll be the occasional things, but with all the supply chain issues that I was having with international stock and just how much time it was taking out of my week when I could have been focusing that energy into other parts, like more videos, I realized that I needed to make some changes. So that's what I did. We'll see how it goes. So the website will still exist. It will just be changing up. The online store is still there. My patterns are still there. I've only got a couple. Don't get excited. And, you know, things like that are still there. But, yeah. So, yeah. But that was all announced, I don't know, September or October, around there, somewhere around there. And then the big 40% off sale started in November. So, yeah. Yeah. Nope. Freaky says you could restock every other month. No, I've actually been quite happy. I've enjoyed not having to go to the post office 3 and 4 times a week. And you know, I'm not going to lie, I miss the money going through my account. But I certainly don't miss the money paying for international shipping on products. So, yeah. There have been things I miss, things I don't miss. I miss having ready access to supplies myself. And then every now and again, we'll do something where I'll put in a big order of something. I haven't closed down any of my accounts, so we'll see. You know, if we want to put a kit together, we can. So, yeah. And that may be something that I like to do down the track as we do our own Cal, where we will have our own kits that we can get. Yeah. But anyway, on that note, everybody, I'm going to end our live stream today. It has been fun. If you are not a member over on the Fun Zone, go and join. It's free. It's fun. It's in the title, Fun Zone. And I will see you here next Thursday for our regular, well, it's Thursday for me. I know it's Wednesday for some of you, for our regular live streaming shenanigans. And it will be fun. And keep an eye on the Fun Zone. There'll be some photos of the blankets coming up very soon. I'll see you all later. Bye now.